My partner cheated, tried to reconcile, but kept cheating and blamed me for it. I, 47F, found out my partner, 59M, of 7 years has been having a secret relationship with a woman in another city. It was going on for at least 8 months before I figured it out. 4 years he's traveled researching a book, and I guess he was changing his location settings to his iPad and leaving it his hotel. I started noticing that sometimes my texts went unread for a long time, or he didn't answer my calls, and noticing those were times he was in a particular city. Sometimes his location didn't move from the hotel for an entire day. When I asked him about it, he would say he was in the zone with his writing, or having trouble with his phone. Or he'd say, "What do you mean?" I did reply. Or he would say that he didn't want to bother me because he knew that I was busy even though I was the one calling and texting. He would get annoyed with me for nagging and say he said he doesn't do that to me. When I asked him what exactly he was researching in that city, he would say, "You would be so bored," and I was like, "Try me," but he would still somehow not answer, and he's really good at changing the topic. I felt really secure in our relationship, so it took me a long time to put it all together. We don't live together. It sounds weird to other people, but we each have complex lives, and this arrangement works for us. We live a short flight apart and see each other every couple weeks. I don't visit him as often as he visits me because I have to go to work Monday to Friday while he is a writer and makes his own schedule. Anyway, a couple months ago he went to that other city again and I watched his dot. I know now he either forgot to spoof his location or brought the wrong device. I noticed he was at a house in a residential area near the hotel he was normally at. He was there all afternoon and evening. Didn't answer my calls or texts. I took a photo of his location and looked up the address. I found her instantly. They are connected on social media. He's got a lot of followers and doesn't follow many people, but he follows her. I still didn't really know, but then I saw her Goodreads page, and last year she read the same books he read. Then I looked at our calendar and our texting and call history during all the times he had been in that city. I made a list of 6 trips where I thought something happened. He was scheduled to visit me and my extended family for Thanksgiving, and I debated what to do. When he arrived, I didn't confront him, but asked, "Is there anything you want to tell me?" And over a couple days kept steering our convo to relationship talk. Nope, nothing. He was loving and his normal self. I was careful not to say, "I think you're having an affair," because he flips out when he is accused of things he didn't do. I didn't have any solid evidence, just hunches and associations, so I wanted to make a safe space for him to tell me, so there wouldn't be a nasty blow-up. I thought we could work calmly together on what to do next. I guess I'm a chicken. I ran out of ways to ask him, but did ask him if he was still happy with our long-distance arrangement. He was going to move in with me this year after his last kid goes to college. "Yup, things are great," he said. I took him to the airport to catch his flight home, except he didn't fly home. He flew to her city again without saying he was going to. His location stopped updating in the pickup area of the airport. 10 minutes later, I called him, then again 30 minutes later and 45 minutes later. The third time the call was canceled immediately. I texted him, "I know what you're doing," but the text was not delivered. The next morning I sent the other woman a short email. "Hi, I am so-and-so's partner. He left here yesterday and turned off his location when he landed. Is he with you?" A couple HRS go by. My text, "I know what you're doing," went through but shows unread. I fell into in a horrible state. It hit me for the first time that this is real. He really is having an affair. I had a panic attack where I lost circulation in my hands and had trouble breathing. I was on and off again like that for 2 days. All that physical panic has mostly faded, thank God, but I still get the shakes when I'm writing about it, and I'm still having real trouble sleeping. I'm trying to get on the calendar of a therapist because I know I need help to work through this. I stopped sharing my location with him and removed him from Find My. It really bothered me that I didn't know exactly what happened. I feel like my sense of reality is messed up. I wanted to hear him tell me the story so I could stop trying to figure out what happened when, so I kept calling. On day 3 he answered. He was back at home, and the first part of our call was him being furious with me for contacting her. Said I violated her privacy. He asked why didn't I talk to him first? I said that I tried to. I asked him to tell me what was going on and tell what is his relationship with this woman. He wouldn't tell me. He was angry. He said, "No. You tell me what you know first." Then he started to trickle out the truth. He wouldn't tell me anything that I didn't ask specifically about, so I went through my list of dates. It took a long time and he was pissed and kept calling it an interrogation, but he didn't hang up on me. It was 2 hours of talking before he said sorry for hurting me, but that was because I asked him to say he was sorry. It did not feel like a real apology because he spent most of the call telling me how he had to cheat because I neglected him and he was unhappy. It was like, "Sorry I hurt you, but you have to understand my reasons," etc. He said the other woman showed him my email while he was at her house, and it was a blow-up, but he stayed there with her for the next 2 days to talk it out. He said she forgives him. He told me the other woman knew that he was not available as a partner, and she knew there was someone else but just didn't know the details. This seems unlikely to me given how devastated he says she is. He said, "You dropped a bomb on her." I said, "He dropped the bomb on both of us," and pointed out that it sounds like he lied to her too. The word lied made him lose it. Don't use that word. That's your story. You aren't listening to mine. I've been a fool and I feel dumb saying this, but we've been trying to reconcile on the phone for a month. I told him my sense of reality is messed up after all this, and I'm trying to square what really happened so I can make sense of it and hopefully heal. At first I wanted to get his story out, but then I realized I wanted to stick around until he showed some remorse. Then I thought, this is a wake-up call to our relationship, but maybe we can still make this work. Believe me, I'm looking hard at how I could think that and why I would do this to myself. It took a long time, 2 weeks, to get the details since he can't seem to remember their chronology or anything they did together. The only way he will talk about a rendezvous is if I go through my calendar and our text history to find times he lied to me and ask him a question about that specific time. I have gotten him to tell me about 10 rendezvous, and when I asked him if there are more, he says, "I don't think so." Again, it's incredible how forgetful he is about the details. Several times he flew her to meet him somewhere, once in Europe, and he spoofed his location so I would think he was at home. He has a second phone with a number I didn't know about. When I expressed amazement at some of the trips, he said all their travel was spontaneous and last minute. He gets frustrated with my insisting on him talking about his affair and said, "When can we move on and get to the real issue," which to him is his unhappiness and my supposed neglect of him that led to him doing it. He said that he sought out a friendship with another woman because was lonely. He said the friendship crossed over to romance, and he didn't know how to stop it. In the beginning, he insisted he and this other woman were only friends until I asked, "Did you have sex with her?" And he said yes. He said he didn't really want to travel with her, but he traveled with her because he couldn't travel with me. He says this other woman is not a serious relationship, and he still wants to be with me and go to couples counseling to work out our issues. One of our first conversations when we got together years ago was him telling me about how important fidelity and trust is to him. We were on the same page about that. We aren't married, but we are exclusive. We share location, and if I go somewhere in the evening, I send him a photo of who I'm with. If I go anywhere I don't usually go, he will call or text me right away. I thought this was love, but now I wonder if it was control and projection on his part. As far as I knew, we've been in a committed relationship, but the last couple weeks he has said, well, we aren't married, and he didn't think of himself in an exclusive relationship. News to me. I haven't known what his relationship is with the other woman since the reveal, but I'm paying attention to everything he says now and listening to my gut. He let slip a few days ago something that she said to him, which means that he has talked to her. I asked him, "What is the nature of your current relationship with her?" He paused and then told me they are still in touch, and they talk on the phone every few days. He said he is helping her with some admin stuff he has experience with, and she is helping him see that what he did is wrong. I was angry but tried to stay calm and said as firmly as I could, "I can't control what you do. I can't control if you continue your relationship with her, but I can control what I will accept. I will not accept you remaining in contact with her if we are going to salvage our relationship." He got angry and says her friendship is important to him, and they started out as friends, and he doesn't see why that can't continue. He said, "I need friends. You have friends, and I don't stop you from seeing them." I said, "This is not a friend. This is a serious romantic relationship you developed with another woman behind my back and then lied to me about." Again, he doesn't like it when I use the word lied, and it's a surefire way to make him start talking over me or hang up. He said when I use words like that, like the word lied or cheated, that is me telling my story again and not respecting his story. I said, "Well, you did lie to me. How can I trust you?" He said that if I don't trust him after all these years, then we have a serious problem. I reminded him that he blew up all our trust when he cheated on me, and we have to work together to build it back up again. I said, end it with her or end it with me. You can't have both. We argued, and he hung up. 2 hours later, he called me and said he talked to her, and she has agreed to step back while we work things out. I didn't say anything, but the wording of that really struck me. He agreed to step back, not him. This is when I did a bad thing. I have his web hosting passwords from when I made his website for him. I didn't use them before because I know I would be betraying his trust, and I knew he would be so angry we wouldn't be able to come back from it. I decided that I want to know the truth, and then I will walk away. I read all their email correspondence for the last year, and no surprise, he's still lying to both of us. She never knew he had another relationship until I sent her that email. He instigated the relationship and pursued her. I learned there were more rendezvous he didn't tell me about, and the trips they took were not spontaneous. They were planned weeks in advance. He arranged the trips and the hotels and bought her plane tickets. There are outgoing emails to her since D-Day, the helpful life admin stuff he mentioned, sharing links and news articles, etc., but there is no relationship discussion from him in writing. I think he saves that for the phone. I think he's been trying not to leave a trail, and I realize that he also no longer replies to email I send him either. However, I read her emails to him replying to stuff he has said, and it's easy enough to see they have also spent the last month reconciling. Sounds like he is all apology and remorse with her while painting me as unstable and our relationship as uncertain and on again off again. She is very supportive and is waiting for him to wrap it up neatly with me so that he can return to her with a clear conscience. I learned they are planning travel for this coming summer. I can't tell him what I know or how I know it, and I think he might even try to press charges. I feel bad about myself for spying on both of them, but at least I have the truth now. I'm taking what I know and breaking off contact. That's my story. I don't want to hear any more of his. TLDR, my partner cheated on me for 8 months. I discovered it. We have been reconciling. I have decided not to reconcile and am moving on.